for organising that. So we've got access now to Google My Business.
Okay, you're able to get in with that other login?
Yeah,
Okay.
I made I have a feeling it shouldn't matter whether you do marketer at or Steve at the email,
Okay.
because it's actually the same, one and the same. A little bit what I think you've
Yeah.
got going there as well, with a few of the emails. But yeah, it was just an unusual one. So it's okay. We got there
Anyway.
now.
All right. What do you need me to
Now,
be
so I'll
in?
get you just to just share your screen to start with, and well, like you did last time, what we want to do is have um, pretty much the same setup as we had before. We had Basecamp up, and then not that we'll need perhaps the website in the same way, but it doesn't hurt to have it. And then the social media pages that we did, we just take a quick restock there,
Okay.
and go awesome. What you should be able to do, because you've got the setup pages, account setup details, if you click on that, that's one first. Yeah, the account details up the top in latest project updates. You'll almost be able to right click on all of the accounts now and just open them up that way.
Whereabouts is that? Top.
So yeah, those links, they're hyperlinks, those ones that say the discussions and latest project updates.
These here?
Yeah, that one there. So any of those ones there.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
It'll probably run you down the bottom, but if you scroll back up the top.
Oh, I see.
And then they're all sitting here now. So
okay.
Yeah, so you could just go. I mean, even you could right click, open the website, right click, open Tamika, or the company page, either one.
Or LinkedIn.
Yeah, do LinkedIn.
Just go all of. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Facebook. I think I've already got Facebook open. Yeah.
Great.
You
got Instagram. Oh, actually, that went over the top. That's what it does sometimes.
It did.
That's all right.
I'll just click back. Open a new tab. Twitter. New tab. Google My
Business. Yeah.
I had problems actually with the Google My Business. When it was kept doing the same thing it was doing the other day. When I went into it, it says you already have access, even though I was on success.
Yeah.
So I just did it through my own Google.
Yeah, I think it's the same as what I experienced. I think I have there's a number of emails associated with my Google profile. And so I think that's the situation as well with that you have. I would. I think it would be. Yeah, that's what you could potentially do. Is create a Google a success at for yourself.
Oh, okay.
That might be the other. And if you were to use the success at, then you might just use the same sort of. Again, for me, at the moment, I'm thinking that the way that you've set it up as a business together, so long as you can access it, and you've actually got other people that, if for any reason you couldn't access it, they could also access it. I think what you said is to actually, for now, even if you just had your Google profile that you already have as Fiona, you just have that as a manager, in the same way as me, for instance, or even you put yourself as an owner, because you wouldn't top Tamika anyway, So so that's
I think I did, but I think I did bump her yesterday, just so that and because I changed it to my mobile as well, just for now until.
Well, we'll have a look, and we'll just check that you're not. So that's all good, so long as it doesn't really matter in terms of bumped one or the other. In fact, even managers get notified, when they've when they're now a manager, or if they've been taken off as a manager, or whatever the case might be, right? So so we've got all that set
I
up. So that's great. Um,
think so. Yep.
then what you can do here is if we scroll up to the top again, because it's actually the checklist. So that was for opening the accounts. If you click on the blue hyperlink up the top, the BPA one there, yep, and then we'll go back to the Diffy Social setup and planning session checklist, and we'll head down towards the planning session part. And just
Is
quickly,
that
I'll
right down
just
the bottom?
walk through what we're going to cover
Oh,
off
yep.
today. So clearly,
Okay.
just a reminder of why we're doing this.
Mhm.
Largely the protect is about what we did last time, is making sure that the brand and business has been set up correctly and the assets are all there, and being able to be integrated exactly the way that we want to have, and that they can be used as an asset. Hence, the next part is sort of differentiate. It's not just about having set them up, but we're actually going to use them in such a way that it's likely to make quite a big difference compared to what others, are doing, because many at best have a Facebook profile. So that's the first thing. We want you to clearly the key objectives are the next two, right? We want you to be top of mind with the businesses in your target communities, the people and businesses, and we want ultimately, realistically, we talked about that sort of long tail and short tail. The long tail of social media, as people that have been involved in BNI, you'd understand that the longer in the game, the more
Mm.
familiar, more likely people will refer you. So that's almost that retained marketing communications type stuff that we're doing through the different channels, that
Mhm.
over time will basically get in front of people that know you or know of you through somebody else. And then it's the Facebook advertising where we're actually getting to people that at the moment probably don't know you, because
Mhm.
you're not probably you haven't used that PAP strategy before. So that's more the quick wins, if you like, and
Mhm.
that's the double pronged approach, realistically, organic and paid. Um, then, and largely this part here around target community, um, we put that in because we do set some saved audiences. So we'll look at, where are they likely to be, what are they likely to be interested in, so that we can target them in realistically, so that you understand it's not a direct and personal uh, way of advertising or marketing, right? It's still creating a haystack of people that are likely to want to be know of you and use you. What we want to try and do is make that haystack as manageable and pointy as possible, right? So we don't want to have a haystack that's 3 million and we're going to take over the entire Queensland if they're not
Mhm.
particularly relevant, right? So
Yep.
so what we try and do, generally speaking, for regions, we try and have it up into maybe a target audience as big as, say, 250,000, so that would have the likely types of people, that we can get to. And at a $5 a day spend, it's not unachievable. It doesn't happen in a week or a month, but it does happen over time. And because of what they call the machine learning, what then Facebook typically does is, once we've got our sort of target audience identified, let's say between 200 and 250,000 people, what it happens once people engage with the ad, then it will reposition it back into their feeds, because they know they've already shown some interest. And so the difference you'll see at times, and even if I'm speaking of it, the difference between reach and impression is the same person more than once. So
Mhm.
basically, what that means is they've probably liked the post, or they've clicked on the post, or they've lingered even, maybe. But what
Mhm.
what it often then means is they'll see it in their feed another time, basically. So, and I don't know, you hear different things from different people. I think they used to say that we needed 7 touch points from people. Now I've heard it as much as 20, that
Yep.
sense of, just seeing things. And it could be an email, it could be the fact they saw your BNI, it could be the fact that they've somehow searched or whatever it might have been.
Yep.
But, they're just getting constant reinforcement that this is a business, that I probably should take some heed of now. Um,
Mhm.
so that's where as I said, the target community comes in. In terms of what we, what, why, where, a lot of that stuff comes from. So if you scroll down just a little bit,
Oh, yep.
we take that sort of. That's the language often of the website, in terms of, your compliance experts, and so that's the language, and then what do you want them to do? Well, you want to take an action of either, um, if there's a call to action to actually get something, then that's clearly what we want them to do. If the call to action is simply to contact us and learn more, then that's what we want them to do. So basically, that's what we sort of, we'll talk a little bit about that as well. We do need to set the ads manager up, and we'll do that. We won't immediately be promoting a post from day one. What we'll do is from next week, as we're scheduling, I'll create something that I believe would be good to promote, and then because we create the post first and then we use Facebook Ads Manager to actually then go and promote it, generally through Facebook as well as Instagram. And that could be, we recommend clearly a real image, but it could also be I do like that video image. If I can download that video, that might be one to use. I think you mentioned you hadn't seen that, but I think it's probably still got quite a bit of currency. But you'll need to tell me whether or not you believe that's the case too, perhaps.
Okay.
But I certainly think that, just on the face of it, from what we've looked at so far, that video would appear to be a really good first promotional tool for you as a business,
Okay.
given you've paid for that. And I don't think, if it's only sitting on somebody else's YouTube at the moment, Tempest Media, it would suggest to me it's not really being promoted at this point. So there's a good opportunity for you to sort of extend the reach and visibility of that. Yep.
Okay.
Then just scrolling down a little bit further, I think the last sort of point becomes in around, okay, we'll talk about this, and we need to allow. I must admit, I need to make sure that I have always an idea of what this will look like, because it's not rocket science in terms of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday post, but we need to allow enough time just to talk that through so that you can say, okay, yeah, that sounds like a reasonable priority, or how about we perhaps prioritize this. And even in the types of services, at times you might say, well, okay, we're actually not doing too much of that, so we don't need to focus too much around that side of things. So that's the scheduling side of things, and then the last couple of things are real sort of dotting the I's and crossing the T's, just to make sure that we've got auto responders on, and as far as imagery, I think your site's pretty good with regards to me being able to save off the site, but I do know you've got a lot of imagery that I probably don't at the moment have. So it's
Yeah.
probably just a matter of copying those images. I think you've got them on a whatever the other one of those sharing tools. Is it a Google or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So maybe just copying those and just pasting that into the Dropbox. That would be that just is an easy way, and the
Yeah.
way that
Sure.
and so then for
Mhm.
you, depending on what systems you're using, whether or not that has, so I keep a lot of it online until I use it, right? So I just keep it in the cloud, because otherwise
Mhm.
it sort of starts to clog up how much you've got
Yes.
in your
Yep.
on your system, sort of thing. So awesome. So
Okay.
the first part of this little session is, and it's a little bit interesting because I think we've got it. Well, you're still going to look at Tamika. Are we in as Tamika?
For what
For
are we
LinkedIn,
going to
sorry, LinkedIn, I
for
was meaning.
LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Oh, why have we on me?
Yeah, so I did put your one in there too. So we're in as
Okay.
Tamiki, right? So,
Yep.
um, so what we generally do, first thing, is we just go through a process.
Mhm.
Are you comfortable acting as Tamika, just so I could take you through this process,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's fun.
So essentially, it's funny because I've got a client starting next week, and that's exactly what they asked me to do, is act as them, and I'm not always,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not especially comfortable doing that for them. So I like just to sort of say, well, look, there's probably not a need for me to do that. If I'll just show you how to share the stuff that we're doing, right?
Yeah.
But there is a need when it comes to this part, right? So this is where we do direct. And so I mentioned before, the advertising isn't direct and personal, but this
Mhm.
can be, right? So the intent of particularly LinkedIn is the idea of how do you identify people that you should be connected with and maybe sharing with, right? Um, so this is useful for Tamika and probably for yourself, not just from a business, but also say a BNI perspective, right? So
Mhm.
if all of a sudden you want a lot of printers coming to BNI, well, it's not that hard to go and find them, for instance, local or whatever the case might be. But I
Mhm.
usually start with I think you probably sit in, what council are you in? What local government are you?
Brisbane City Council.
It's just Brisbane, right? Which is, I think, is the
Yeah.
biggest council in Australia. I have a
Yep.
feeling. So let's
Okay.
let's just put in the search up the top there, Brisbane City Council. And then if we click on that one, yeah, and this is they're going to be pretty massive, but I guess no more massive than say a Telstra or whatever. So firstly, it's probably worth Tamika following the council, right? So that means in the feed, the
Mhm.
council, if there's grants or support or whatever it might well be, that'll start to appear in her newsfeed. Now,
Mhm.
there's 4,294 employees, which if you click on, it will show us just on the just above visit website. It's got
Oh,
420
here.
that one
Yep.
there. Yeah, generally it'll do the more profile ones first, right? Actually, I was at a marketing and sales training yesterday saying how the most powerful people is the executive support to not necessarily local government, but in any organisation, right? So
Mhm.
somebody like Ainsley Gold, which is really interesting that she comes up first, right? She's the executive officer to the CEO.
Yep.
She's the gatekeeper for Brisbane
Yeah.
City Council, effectively, right? So let's use Ainsley as an example, and I'll get you just to go connect. It won't connect with her straight away. It'll ask if you want to add a note, right?
Mhm.
And go add a note, and then we're going to say hi, Ainsley,
Mm. Oh, what's oh,
and comma. I run or own and operate, maybe is the other way to say it. I own and operate um,
P-E-R-A-T. Yep.
a local business, a local and then type of business, a local HR and WHS compliance business, workplace.
Workplace health
Yep.
and safety. Uh,
And maybe, yeah, a business
and
in the city of Brisbane. Often we'd say local. Well, you've already said local, but yeah, in the city of Brisbane.
mhm.
In fact, I would almost, given this case, because we're saying where we operated in,
Mhm.
get rid of local and then just have a capital C for city. And then I reckon because Brisbane is so big compared to everywhere else, which have particularly Perth have all these little donut councils, right? So,
Yep.
hi Ainsley, I operate full stop, so that's fine. And then after the city of Brisbane, you would just say it would be good to connect and stay in touch. Full stop. Kind regards, Tamika. And I would just copy that and just paste it into because this clearly you if you were doing this, you would just
Mhm.
reword it slightly and clearly depending on who you're putting it to.
Where do you
And we'll
want me
just
to
start a
put
new
that?
comments one today. Yeah, we'll just do another one for. So if you go
Start a
all the
new
way
one.
down, if you go all the way down to the bottom and then just
Oh,
paste it
yep.
into there, and yeah,
Mm.
so
Um,
yep, so and that's something we can send now. So
where
yeah,
an HR company? So
uh, well, it,
ah
it It
and
the reason I reckon it's A because but like you said, H sounds like it starts with an A, but it is a
yeah.
HR company.
And quality management business. Yep. Okay. Send.
Yep. Now, understanding that we could do a couple more. So we got the chief executive officer, Colin wouldn't hurt as well.
This one here.
Yep. We'll do a few more, and then then what?
Yep.
So we
Better
got
make
Peter
sure I
this
change
time.
his name.
Exactly. It wouldn't be the first time that I've forgotten to do that, which
Yeah, I
is
think
good.
I've done it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was his name? Colin.
Colin. Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
send.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find someone in economic development. So strategic people and culture is more HR. Oh, actually, well, HR workplace, it could actually be someone good to connect. Rona.
Rona. What
Yep.
is that
She's
one?
Rona McLean
Oh,
McCarmody.
this one here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's HR related. So,
Mm-hmm.
send. Yeah. And what have we got? General manager. We don't really know what Scott does. It's got a little icon which suggests he's active. Deputy chief of staff to the Lord Mayor. Or change in culture manager. Actually, change in culture manager, probably a good
Mhm.
one. Oh yeah, and that one, yep.
Oh, which
Yeah,
one were
no,
you?
Misha as well. Yeah, Misha is a good one.
Yeah.
Looks like she's got a more padded out.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So both of those ones look quite good.
And you reckon this one as well?
Yeah. And let's just, if you scroll down and then go to second page, maybe page 2, yeah. Because there's so many, that's the organisational change, probably not. Direct international relations, probably not. Geez, there we are. This one here, that's the sort of person, Danny Southwell, business improvement and strategy manager at
Oh, yeah.
Brisbane City Council. So she's a great one. And then we'll, so I don't know, yeah. So now Danny's a good one to finish on the
Mhm.
basis that somebody like Danny, so we're not just list building here, right? There's not really any great advantage. There's some advantages in just having thousands of people that you're connected to,
Mhm.
but the greatest advantage is firstly, we've said hi, Danny, right?
Mhm.
97% if they're using LinkedIn, if they're on LinkedIn, in other words, and they get a hi, Danny, forget everything else, they'll probably connect. You've used their
Mhm.
name, you've got a little bit of extra effort just to at least say who you are and personalize it, right? So that's the first thing.
Mhm.
So once she's then connected, particularly in a role like Danny, now Danny is paid to look after businesses in Brisbane City Council, right?
Mhm.
So the follow up message to somebody like Danny would be, hi, Danny. Just trying to understand what sort of support is available to businesses such as ours. Would you be able to point us in the right direction, or advise or point us in the right direction?
Okay.
Local government, having spent 15 years, albeit in different area, we're paid to help at the end
Mhm.
of the day, right? So it's to her advantage if businesses are happy and that she's doing her job by pointing them in the right direction.
Mhm.
The reality is, for your business, however, there's possibly, um, opportunities with the council potentially, in terms of
Okay.
their own
Yeah.
safety and different things, right? So
Mhm.
clearly, the first opportunity is, as a business, how can somebody like Danny help your business? But then
Mhm.
there's also the thing, well, given the type of business that you are, is there opportunities within council's business units that we might be able to, do they do a quote system? Do they have preferred suppliers potentially? That sort of stuff, right? Now, realistically, that's something you might have a conversation with Danny about, right? But more's the point is, once we've connected, what's the follow up to connect? What it's a bit like, so what? Why are we doing this, right? So, I mentioned before, Tamika could easily just be doing something like this, is because we connect with. For a start, if Tamika's anything like me and potentially yourself, you know, we have a chunk of business cards often. If
Mm.
we've been to networking events and that sort of stuff, there's a high likelihood people don't know many people that do what you do.
Mhm.
So I would connect with just about every business card that I've ever received if you've got a drawer full of business cards. That's one thing. So that's networking. Clearly, anybody that you've ever worked with, they're the other ones, right? They should be the ones that, realistically, that's where the spin-off benefit comes, right? You're connecting with them, is, it's basically just solidifying the relationship. It's like, how are you going? You know, be good to connect. Now, clearly, the reality is, if people know Tamika really well, and you know people, and you're doing this as well, then clearly the need to do personalized notes isn't always there, but it's definitely there when you don't particularly know them. So
Yep.
for people that you are, and as I said, this is time consuming, but it's probably the most powerful thing that you can do for the business. That
Mhm.
as a personal, as a representative of the business, it's the most powerful thing that we can do, because clearly you can target owners of certain businesses that you'd like to work with, and you're not doing anything more than just saying, "Hi, um, I'm Tamika. I run a business, HR. It would be good to connect." Never in any notes do I do anything more than that. And even in
Okay.
the second one, I uh, there are those that are using Sales Navigator and other tools that become very salesy, and you know them.
Mm.
You virtually know them before they've even sent the message within 24 hours. That is generally
Yeah.
quite long, and it's
Mm.
generally telling you that you should take up their sales offer, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit like, my approach is similar to BNI: relationship first, sale somewhere down the track once
Yeah.
you've got there. Because the other thing it could well be is it's just a way of getting a conversation. It's a way of being able to, would it be okay for me to pick up the phone? Would it
Mhm.
be okay to come and have a chat? So that's the approach, right? It's a softly approach, and it's
Mhm.
definitely not a sales first approach. Yep. So,
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much the gatekeeper when it comes to Tamika's
mm,
network. I'd say 90% of them I ignore.
yeah.
And then obviously you've got your ones that are in India or China or something like that.
Yeah, and that's a good point.
Um,
That one. So yeah, I have a, and I often don't talk about this, but that's good that you've raised that. Um, so my approach is, whoever's coming at me, the first thing is, as you just mentioned, are they in my sort of parameters of where I'm likely
mhm.
to be working and having a relationship, right? So
Yep.
as you said, if it's coming in from, dare I say it, some of the more stereotypical countries, then
Mhm.
um, and I feel bad sometimes, because often it'll come from BNI people within those countries, right? So,
Yes. Yep.
but there's still an assessment, and often it's because you can tell they haven't read what you do. Right, so
Yeah.
because
Yep.
often they're in sort of slightly aligned space. So that's the first thing. There's ones that, if they haven't got a profile image, for instance, unless I kind of can see that it's a naive and I might be able to help them, and I might sort of. So there's two things. If they've got a profile picture, and I've actually got one at the moment that was referred to me where they're actually using their business logo, right? And so in that
Mhm.
case, I connected with them, and I haven't had this conversation with them yet to tell them that's a no-no, right? To use your logo instead of, have a business, right? But
Yep.
but yeah, so that's how their logo, and clearly whether they're presenting just to try and create a list of people,
Mhm.
um, and then, but probably the reverse of what you said. I'd say I'm more 80% I accept and
Okay.
20% I don't, on the basis that, and you're no different, as in
Mhm.
as a business, you're probably the only people that they're connecting with that do what you do, or you're very
Mm.
rare compared to what you do. So it doesn't really matter if I have 100 real estate agents or mortgage brokers or whatever connected to me.
Mhm.
Ultimately, I know that I'm more rare than what they are.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so, and I think that's, well, I believe that's a good approach for my business. And
Mhm.
I think you could apply a similar approach. And because even then, when they do, so those ones that are very, there's a fine line between being overly proactive and being proactive, right? So
Mm.
sometimes if some people come at me, and it is sort of like, okay, well, let's say bots, I don't know, automated bots.
Mhm.
But they come at me a little bit before, as I said, I'm a relationships first person, but you're coming up
Yep.
with me of an automated bots. For me, I would tweak it around, and I'd often say, "Oh, well, that sounds interesting. Yeah, and you want me to collect your calendar? I'm happy to do that. Who does your social media marketing?"
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you can play a game a little bit with that if you feel like, and I sort of do it tongue in cheek, right? There is that element of, hey, we've only
Yeah.
just met. Come on,
Yeah.
or if particularly with ones that I've just connected with, and I can see that they're probably decent people and they're good businesses. Um, I'll just let them know that it's not a priority at this point in time for my business.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Is so
You know,
most people, yeah,
it's funny because we sent out an invite. It was just an email invite to so, of people on our database, and a lot of it is, as like you say, you collect the business cards from BNI and they get
Yeah.
chucked into our database and stuff like that.
Mm.
This particular lady, she replied back to us and says, "I've got no idea who Tamika is. I don't know why you're sending this to me."
Mm.
And I replied to her nicely,
Mm.
um, "You've met Tamika. I don't know if it was even at a BNI. It might have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
at a Chamber of Commerce or something. Tamika met with you. You exchanged business cards. If you prefer me to take you off
Yeah,
the
yeah.
database, not a problem." Um, and she goes, "Oh yeah, well I've got no idea who she is, so yeah, take me off the database." 10 minutes later, she gets a LinkedIn invite
All right, from
from
that
this
same
particular.
person.
Yeah,
That's funny, isn't it?
that's really weird. And she's a was she a business coach or personal coach or something? I'm like, yeah, that's not
And you
really.
can get people, and as you said, that's a good example. I mean, email is just the same, right? So I did
Yeah.
in my business. I've always had the same CRM system, but when I exited my former company and then rebranded and have my current company, I found that realistically, what I finished up doing was exporting all of my CRM, so all of my LinkedIn as into my CRM, right, and then
Mm,
going through to try and avoid that issue. But that's always going to
yep.
happen.
Yeah.
I've had a number of sort of, and often they're, if for whatever reason, that's okay. And that was perfectly handled. I do
Mm,
exactly the same thing. I would just say, oh, look, oh yeah, we've met. However, we met. We're connected
yep.
on LinkedIn, but that's
Mm,
fine, no
yeah.
problems. Because the
Okay.
reverse of that is actually um, and I don't do enough of it, right? So because I do more use LinkedIn and my own tools, that I don't do a lot. The only time I generally will do a bulk email is more around sort of Christmas time, or
Yep.
but it is generally quite advantageous because
Mm,
it sort of reminds people I'm not in there every week or every month, and
mm,
sometimes it almost gives me a little bit at the time of year when you want people to be sort of their interest restarted. Often, what will happen into January and February, I'll sort of start to get some of those people that had inquired or I'd linked with before coming back to me. So,
yep.
yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
overdo that, but it sounds like you guys
Mm,
have got a good process for that. So that's good.
yeah.
And also, yeah, if you've already got a CRM, well, then clearly you just want to, those are straight away, they're good people. If you're not connected on LinkedIn, then who
Mm,
should be. But
yep.
do consider it for people that as I said, there's nothing to stop yourselves to be connecting, and even at times, my second email might well relate to this, right? So if I'm doing something, let's say to somebody in the Maribyrnong Council in Footscray where I live. I'll often let them know that yes, I'm a social media marketer. I'm also the secretary of the Footscray Traders, and I go to a business networking event. If any of that's of interest to you, it'd be great to see you,
Mhm.
have you come along because
Yep.
effectively, again, you're not selling. You're actually just, as you know, through the BNI, you're often offering an opportunity for them to come along and spruik themselves. And yeah,
Yep.
and it just starts to build a bit of a relationship too. So
Yeah. Yep.
cool. Well, that's
All right.
that's the direct and personal. I think we've more than
Mhm.
adequately covered off on that. But let's click on probably the easiest way, even if you just write Bramwell Partners in the search up the top, and we'll go to the company page.
Oh, that's really good.
I'll just click on it. Yeah, that's it. There we go. Um, and we're going to go and that admin tool's there on the top right. I'll get you to click on that that drop down where it says admin tools. Yeah, and there it's got invite connections. Right,
Mhm.
yeah, that's it. And so, um, realistically, I don't suggest to people. I'm assuming a lot of these people are probably good connections, right? You can invite 100 per month.
Okay.
I would suggest you try not to miss a month. Every month.
Okay. Mhm.
Now, again, you'll find that I don't know how many connections Tamika had, but clearly it makes a whole bunch more sense her inviting them in than me inviting them in.
Yep.
But similarly, you could easily, with your connections, be doing the same thing. So anybody that has admin on the back of this, same with
Mhm.
Wayne, if he is, but you can invite them in. And that's what I was saying to you before. We now get better impressions on LinkedIn Company than we do on Facebook in terms of
Okay.
organic.
Mhm.
and it's purely because they're following the company as well. In fact, I think I've got
Okay.
more followers on the company, LinkedIn company, or an equal amount as what I do on Facebook. So, it's quite
Mhm.
similar. It's sort of that thousand sort of mark.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and that's just, in fact, I remind myself when I'm doing reports, I do my report first, and it's a good reminder for me to do the same. And depending on how many, depends on how selective, but you know, you might,
So
again,
are these suggestion connections, or are these ones that Tamika would already be
these are all
connected to?
first connections. So these people are
Okay.
already connected to Tamika.
Yep.
And as I said, you can literally go down and click on 99 of them.
Okay.
And then once you click the 100th, it'll tell you that's it. You need to send
Okay.
invite now.
And so
So,
that's once a
yeah,
month. Okay.
yeah. So
Yep.
that's one of the best things you can do for the business, particularly a business like
Mhm.
yours, where the people that you want to maybe get more access, and LinkedIn is, as I said, best people tool, right,
Mhm.
in a way, and it is the most logical, and in BNI, depending on which state, but um, really BNI, I believe BNI networkers should be using LinkedIn as their online business card and networking tool, but
Mhm.
for whatever reason, a lot sort of defer to almost a professional Facebook,
Right.
or a
Okay.
mishmash of a Facebook.
Yep.
But this, and you can do the same thing with Facebook, and we'll have a look at that in a second. Yep. So,
Mhm.
but
Okay.
the next two are B2B connections, right? And I think
Mhm.
if you click on Instagram now, and this sort of stuff is the sort of stuff that you do. Or somebody might do when it's um, you've got a bit of downtime. You don't want to have to think too much.
Mhm.
So it's either in work time or it's outside of work time or whatever the idea is. But you doing it is advantageous. So you can see here at the moment you've got 38 followers and you're following 5. Right
Mhm.
now, the only reason for that is that you're only following 38. So
Yep.
basically, you want to follow, you can, I don't know what the limit is, but you can certainly be. So if we did do what we did before, in fact, just click on 38 followers for me.
This one.
Yeah. In fact, you've got more followers than you're following, right? So
Yeah.
by way of example, let's go. Let's just scroll down to see who. I want to see who the first ones that were following you might have been, right? Luxury, because you actually haven't ever really gone out of your way to follow. And so, in actual fact, it might be almost better. Let's see, Michael Lawyers, any clients or anything here? There's Wayne
Yeah.
Russell Bramwell.
Yeah. That would have been, yeah, when I first started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris.
That
Some of
Lawyers,
them I've got no idea.
is the Lawyers
Uh,
a client by any chance?
Lawyers. What
Just
lawyers?
scrolling up a little bit, I saw a
I
Lawyers.
haven't
No.
heard of them before. No.
Okay, let's do it this way then. I'm going to get you to, depending on what sort of home, just close that one there. Let's do, in your search, do BNI Brisbane or something like that. I think there's probably a BNI region, BNI Brisbane.
Yeah.
Do it
There's
as,
no.
yeah.
Well, there's.
You can
Yeah,
do
nothing
BNI
didn't
Australia
come up.
out of interest. BNI Brisbane North. Go to that one. Oh, yeah,
Yep.
actually, and the generators. All right, so they're not doing anything, but you can follow them. Give them a follow. Um, and then go BNI Australia. You might as well follow BNI Australia and see who BNI Australia are following. Click on that top one. Yeah.
Old
Give
Frederick.
that a follow. You can see
Follow.
the bugger all are
Mm-hmm.
following them. So again, so they're only following
Mm.
8 too. So they've also got someone that doesn't know how to build their things, but 647 followers, right?
Yep.
So if you, which would all be BNI people, right? BNI
Mm.
businesses, just so you know. If
Mm-hmm.
you scroll up, just out of interest, who are they following? Who's the 8 things they're following? Okay.
Well, Hazel. Yeah.
Yeah, Hazel's probably not. She's probably worth following.
Yep. So would I? I just
You
click
just
on
click on that.
follow
That's
for.
just
Yep.
basically that just means that you're following them.
Yep.
Megan Shitwood, she's Brisbane, isn't she?
I don't recognise the name. Not sure.
Okay. Scrolling down,
Uh,
I know Susan Laidlaw
business manager.
is a business coach in Perth. Yep. So you can close that one. Let's go to Brisbane City Council or Brisbane Business. Type in Brisbane Business out of interest. There you go. Brisbane Business Hub. This will be a good one. Hopefully. So give them a follow.
Looks like it.
Yeah. Let's see who they're following. 207. If you scroll down to the bottom, often what it is where they first were looking at who they should follow. You'd get your more your kind of more substantive businesses potentially, as well as your other communities and stuff, right? So clearly, you'd also get an understanding of who they're. But yes, there's probably nothing to stop you. Just for the sake of the exercise, is realistically, again, it's
Mhm.
just downtime. You click, click,
Yep.
click. Because it's Facebook, it's a Facebook product. You can at
Mhm.
times get to a point where it says "slow down, tiger." It starts to
Okay.
think you're like a robot. So don't, So generally, with any Facebook product, 20 at a time is not a bad way to think of it, right? But
Mhm.
with the idea of trying to get up to more substantial, at least get into three figures to start with, and then move into four figures if you can. Yeah.
Yep.
So the idea of this is, other than paying, what you're actually paying here is time. Someone's time to go, duh, 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 duh. And it's
Mhm.
the only way that you're going to get them following you back, probably. Right?
Okay.
And once
Yep.
they follow you back, you start to appear in their feed.
Okay.
That's the intent of why we do it, right? And
Yep.
so first, we want to get their attention. A, you now
Mhm.
know of us. B, we want to get into their feed.
Yep.
Um,
Okay. Well, we've got an intern coming on next month, so it could be part of her job.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, exactly. No problems. Well,
Yeah.
you'll be able to show her this little video and she'll be able to do that. So then the same
Yeah.
with Twitter, and we won't label Twitter, but it's exactly the same with Twitter. So if we go, um, and let's do this time around, let's do,
So it's same up here, or is
go,
it just
yeah, just do
search? Yeah.
Brisbane City Council as the first one. So again, it's always worth where you're located. Just go search there. There you go.
So follow.
Yeah. And even the
Yep.
libraries doesn't hurt. It helps place you. Um, but you can click on Brisbane City, and then you'll be able to see who they're following. So you can always see how much how they're following 549, but they've got 311,000 following them, right? So
Mhm.
if you can get onto their following list, that's quite a good thing, right? So if you
Mhm.
click on following, and then it's just simply a matter of going again, like we had
It's the
with
same
Instagram,
thing.
where you
Okay.
choose, okay, Queensland Police, sure, Queensland Health, yeah, that's where we are. 9 News
Mhm.
Queensland, no worries. 7 News Queensland. So anything that helps place you geographically, not a bad thing
Okay.
to follow.
Yep.
Then, okay, who do we have some sort of logical? So then it's just businesses basically, unless they're
Mm.
businesses that you wouldn't work for,
Yep.
right? So just
Okay.
geographically locate you. So
Okay. So
then,
say yep.
yeah, so that's the B2B type following, and we're going to do the same on Facebook before we then
Mhm.
move to. So this is the connecting stuff, right? So connecting
Mhm.
basically. So we go to the Facebook page, um, and then on your left hand side underneath page it says news feed. Yeah, and I'll get you to click on that. Yep. And see here, it's giving you suggestions. If you click on see more in the middle, yeah. And this is now, given that
Oh,
you're
okay.
in as the business, you can go. So it's things like RDAQ Foundation,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
one of our business,
yeah,
one of our clients.
follow.
Yeah.
Are you okay day? Yes, follow Queensland Government, worth following because you probably get it brand, but what do they call it? Grant stuff at times and other information. Brisbane North
Mhm.
Chamber of Commerce makes sense. Um, Business government makes sense. That top one, that's the federal advice and that sort of stuff. Small Business Australia. She's interesting. Is it taking off that follow after you're doing it? Oh, there you go. That one's in. That's okay. Some of them maybe you can't follow. I think that's what must happen. Business
Oh.
Queensland, and given
Okay.
we've got, so that's again something you could easily do, right? So it's
Yeah.
in your news feed. It's worth
Mhm.
just copying. Sometimes it's rare now, but
Yep.
see that link at the top? It's got /news_feed. It's worth copying that link
Mhm.
just so you know that's where we found it, um, because sometimes it doesn't show on the left-hand column for whatever
Oh,
reason. I don't
okay.
know why, but all you need to do is paste it into your Facebook and it will show. So that's how you do your connection with your with those ones. The other one that I noticed, I think, was called Brisbane Business, right? So if we go back to Facebook, I want to show you one other thing in terms of if you go search Facebook up the top and
Mhm.
you go Brisbane space business, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
It helps if I can
Brisbane,
spell.
that business hub, Brisbane Business Hub, I reckon.
This one?
Yep. In fact, I should have used the obvious ones are the B and I's, right? There's
Mm.
no most B and I's have a page, right? So if you
Yep.
click on B and I Business Hub up the top in the
BNI.
hyperlink above the so in the middle, it's got B and I Business.
The
Yep, that one
this
in the
here,
you
this
click
one
on that.
here?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Oh, sorry. Yep.
yep. And so on the three dots on the left hand side,
Mhm.
if you click on that and it's got like as your page, right? Select a page, and then you go Bramwell Partners Submit. Um, if you go to your page, we're in as Fiona, but let's
Mhm.
go now back to your Bramwell Partners page. Uh, and it doesn't really matter actually whether you're on Brisbane Business Hub or the Bramwell Partners. You can invite your network into those into your page as well, right? So those three dots again on your page, invite friends. If you click on invite friends, um, that's where you've got 161. Any of those that are business related, B and I related, no, that's
Not on
okay.
mine.
But with Tamika,
Yep.
the way of thinking about this is anybody that Tamika
Mhm.
and in fact, even for yourself, but any business related, but anybody that wants you to do business well in business, right? So for Tamika, a lot of it would be her friends that aren't
Yeah.
necessarily clients, but they're just happy for Tamika to do well, and they'll probably refer if they get the opportunity. But for many clients, when we're starting off, it's very advantageous if they're inviting their friends and family into
Mhm.
pages. I remember I had to sort of tell my mum and dad at some stage, it's okay, mum and dad, you can comment on my private, just don't comment on the business. You know what I mean? So, oh, Steve, you're doing a lovely job over there for that time. So, but yeah, that, that that's what you can do. So you can invite them in. So clearly, where this is, so clearly in much the same as way as LinkedIn, if a lot of
Mhm.
Tamika's network is her BNI network,
Mhm.
then anybody and everybody that she's met through BNI, particularly in the days now that we've got cross chapter referrals, you're not that prevalent in BNIs.
Mm.
Anybody that she's met on her BNI journey and she's connected with on Facebook, then hopefully she can invite them in. And it's fair to say that 45-year-old business and over, let's say 40 and over business owners,
Mhm.
I have to keep moving it slightly, but 45 years and over business owners typically are not using Facebook how 45 years and or 44 and unders use it.
Yep.
They're often blending their business life with their personal life. And in fact, they're
Okay.
probably leaning even more towards their business and their professional life because
Mhm.
often they're not on LinkedIn.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Um, my thoughts around that is that if people are doing that, I used to do that, but then it became, your network and your friend network isn't the same network, right? So,
Mm.
and your personal network. Um, but the thing with that is, particularly for Tamika, is not always to be pushing the Bramwell Partners barrow in terms of it. And I doubt she does this, right? But the where it becomes hard not to do it is that if you're in part of BNI, then you're all of a sudden you're in the BNI chapter group, and you're often
Mhm.
then checking into the BNI chapter, and
Mhm.
so that's probably the opportunity is that, yeah, I'm with my business network today and this is what I do in the business. But other times, on the weekends, I'm going to movies and I'm running along the beach or whatever else I'm doing. So
Mhm.
That's just the important difference in terms of how it gets used. Right. So that's connecting. And as I
Okay.
said, it becomes really important for us that that news feed is because we go looking for stuff on a Wednesday that we try and do some ambush social media marketing. In other words, we're going to give some likes to the people that you're connected with as a B2B.
Mhm.
So whatever's in that feed, and potentially we're going to pick up, let's say, Business Hub shares something about a grant that's available,
Okay.
for argument's sake.
Mhm.
We often try and pick something that's bigger than you are to get their attention so that they'll follow you, but also the opportunity might then occur is that they'll then it shows association, but also they'll like it, they'll potentially comment on it, and if
Mhm.
you're really lucky, they may even, well, they're unlikely to reshare what they've already shared themselves, but potentially down the line, they reshare something that you've put out, right? A blog or whatever it might well be.
Mhm.
So that's what the aim of that sort of connecting and is aimed at doing.
Okay.
Um, right. So then let's go to Facebook Ads Manager. Um, I'm just if we scroll down and do what we did last time, I think we're creating an ads manager from memory. Maybe you go to Ad Center. It's not. I'll go to Settings actually. Sorry. Uh, Scroll down to the bottom there.
Settings.
Yeah. And on the left hand side, scroll to the bottom. There should be one that says. Scroll all the way down. Is this is page management settings. Interesting. Okay, that's page. We're in page settings. What I might get you to do, just out of interest, is put the cursor up the top, so into the URL, and get rid of everything after the or even before Bramwell Partners. So get rid of bramwellpartners.com.au for me.
From there.
Yeah, and then I'll just get you to write Ads Manager for me and go enter. I think we saw this last time because this then came up as Fiona. Um,
Taking a while. Hmm.
yeah, it often
Oh,
can be, particularly
there we
first.
go.
Yep. Just go okay. Um, and on the left hand side, actually, just with that drop down box, it's got Fiona Spence. Up the top where there's the arrow in the up the top in the middle, there's a little drop down. Okay, so we only have the one account, right? So then so you're not associated with anything else. So let's underneath the house. There's the three. There's the hamburger, three lines. That little part there, yeah. Um, let's go. Uh, if you click on add account, actually, let's go click on business settings just out of interest in the middle. Yeah, so this is what we did before, and this is where we are part of this, right? Okay, well, that's good. Can I get you to copy that URL up the top? There you go. And
Ads manager.
at the moment, that's the business manager, in fact.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's the business manager. Yeah. And now I'm reminded what we started a little bit to do
where
last
were
time,
we?
which is good,
This one.
is that we've
Mhm.
got this, right? So then if we go underneath, you've got pages.
Mhm.
So underneath, sorry, underneath the
Oh, this here.
account, you go pages, yeah, and that's going to clearly say Bremwell because it was already showing there, right? Um, it's interesting. It's got all those other people sitting there as well. So let me just. Um, so that's interesting. See how again, it's just probably we need to add Tamika into this business account. See how it's got Tamika not in business account, and yet it's
Mhm.
Tamika's business account, which is slightly concerning. So what I think we need to do is we need to under people, because I'm assuming you're connected because you've got your success at email, I reckon. And so if you
I can't remember how we did this, to be honest, because I know I kind of took over from somebody else,
yeah, okay.
and it was kind of I think Connor gave me access to the business one and made me like an admin,
Yeah, yeah.
and then yeah.
Well, now
So I don't know
now
if
the
it's
way
been
it
set
looks
up
is
right.
very bizarre. I think Tamika, it just surprises me to read that she's not into the business account, right? So, yeah, so I think here you go. Well, let's just do that. Invite into business account, right? So
Yeah.
that's that one, yeah. And give her admin access and all that sort of stuff.
Enter
Oh, yeah,
email
so do it as Tamika.
address. I'm just wondering what does it need to be her email address that's associated
Well,
with
that's the
Facebook or
question, I
just
guess. That's the
oh
question. But what would happen is if we do it to her Tamika at
at Bramwell?
email, then she would go to her Facebook, and then it'll basically ask her which
She's
profile
got a
she's using.
login. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it should by rights
Uh,
be associated, but most people don't associate it. I hear what you're saying. So yeah,
um,
give admin
so
then. Yeah, and then we'll go next. And now we want classic pages on the left-hand side. If you click on classic pages, yeah. And then we're going to click on Bramwell Partners, yeah. And then we're going to, on the right-hand side, scrolling down, you'll just go everything, basically manage page, full control.
oh yeah.
And then you just go invite, yeah. Okay, done. So I think that's a good start, yeah.
Okay.
Um, so then the next thing we've got is ad accounts, and I think from memory last time we have to create an ad account. So let's do that. So let's click on that drop down box, and we're going to go create new account.
So now it's just got Tamika doesn't have any ad accounts yet.
No, that's
So
right.
I'm now
No, that's
in
right.
as
But we're
Tamika.
still
Okay.
we're still. In fact, let's go into the way. Just click on the drop down arrow with Tamika Bramwell. Yeah, one Facebook page. Okay, cool. All right, business accounts.
Why
Yeah. So
have I
let's
got
click on the little
three
click on the little
okay.
settings next to Tamika's name from the business account. Yeah, click on
Oh
that.
yep.
Hmm.
Well, it's just taken us back here.
Okay,
Oh.
no, that's all right. Scroll down to the. Actually, see the little bottom left-hand corner. There's a little next to the 39 bottom left. There's a little wheel
This.
again. Yeah, click on that one. Out of interest. It possibly will go to the same again, but here we go. No,
Mhm.
Fiona Spence, Stephen Hubbard. Let's. I'm just going to put in. I want to. I want to see if I can rename that, but I'm not going to rename it yet. Let's
Okay.
do what we need to do in the first
Okay.
instance. We
So
know
add
what
accounts.
essentially what we have is we've got Tamika Bramwell the business, and we've got
Mhm.
Tamika Bramwell the admin,
Yep.
basically. So
Okay.
they're separate. Let's go add accounts again, and let's create a new ad account
Just
down the
this one up the top.
no, the
Yep.
bottom one there. Create a new
Oh.
one. Yeah, yeah, and we're going to call this ad account. Is going to be called Bramwell Partners. Clearly, the
Not
time
in.
zone is going to be different.
Mm, yeah.
I
Which
think we
way
might be
would
down the
this be?
bottom. I have a
Yeah, I
feeling
think
the
we
other way.
are actually. Yeah. Oh, have I gone past?
No,
No.
I think we're like +8 or 7 or 8. I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. You just there's Sydney,
Oh, there we go.
Brisbane above. There we go.
Brisbane.
Yeah, and then Australian dollars. Yep.
Next.
What's the business? So, well, for now, yeah, we're going to have to go my business.
This one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we're going to, then we're going to go click, click, click for Fiona, Tamika. Yeah. And then we're going to go manage ad account and assign. Yeah. We'll have all just got emails probably. And here's where we sort of put, so yeah, okay, well, the next step should be actually putting ABNs and things in too often.
Okay, I won't have any payment information right now, so I haven't got any. Oh, where's.
Hopefully, that won't stop us from doing saved audiences and that sort of stuff. I think we'll see.
Where are we? What is that?
Because it's Australian dollar now, maybe we sit lower. Maybe we're actually at 0. Is it? Oh no, Auckland time,
This
yeah.
is Auckland. Oh, there's Sydney,
Sydney
Melbourne,
or Melbourne. Is Brisbane maybe
Perth.
slightly lower? Oh
Maybe,
no, Brisbane
yeah.
would be slightly higher. Because
You'd think so.
or at the moment it's actually the same. So I guess that's possibly why it's doing. So maybe just do Sydney time for now, half an hour. Or what
Yeah.
is the difference in? It's an hour in summer, right? So
Daylight saving, yeah.
yeah.
I'll just.
Oh,
Oh,
country region is
region.
Australia too.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe that's. Maybe that might have helped if. Does that then. No. Yep, we'll leave it as that. Yeah, I won't have this information right now
Can I
because
get
I'm
you
not at
just
work.
in the edit up the top? Just go ABN. You'd have the ABN would be easy enough to find, correct? I can do it.
Yes. Let me have a look. Oh, come on. It's going a bit slow. All right. Oh, why is that not typing now? 70. Oh. 9.
Yeah, I think. If you go, it'd be interesting to see if you go back, or actually, if you just close the box, whether we've created at least the account, just close it. Okay, so that's the account. You'll need to actually, yeah, probably what you will need to do is be able to find that again, though, in terms of so you can add the payment method in there. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, because the only reason ad account that she's not added at this stage, you see what happens. I don't think edit would do my business. Yeah, that's okay. Just go edit in Ads Manager out of interest. Okay. Yeah, no, this is better. So just
Yeah, okay.
copy that link up above, and then just paste it so you know where you can go in and update that information. I'm hopeful we're going to be able to do the to create a saved audience and stuff like that for us. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's go. So yeah, so we can close that. let's go just out of interest and make sure. I think it is, but let's just click on Instagram accounts down below. I'm fairly sure we've got Instagram accounts linked. So just under apps on the left-hand side.
Oh, oh, yep.
Does this say log into Insta for additional settings? Let's do that. Let's just go log in
I
because it
thought we
should
were.
because you've already
Oh,
got it open. It should just immediately do it. You just go log in. Yeah.
hmm.
And our password was, yeah, it probably is the same as what you've got, but you could copy and paste too.
Hmm. Did we change the password
Oh yeah, no, you
to
know
that
what it
one?
is. So basically, you need just it's actually without the at. So yeah, we had the password.
Hang on. Where was I?
So we're back in this one. Oh, actually, you might have it. Scroll down below. It's possibly opened it up in a different. When it's sort of it's a pop up as well. So um,
So go back to Instagram.
just go
Is that what you're
log in
saying?
again. Try log in again. Hit log in. There it is. And it's not at Bramwell Partners. It's just Bramwell Partners. I reckon if you click on use passwords, it'll probably come up, but otherwise copy and paste it.
I don't know if I have.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Just get
Um, it should be. Oh, it wasn't one of the ones that we changed, was it? Or
yeah,
made?
yeah. So it's got the little
Oh, what? Oh, so it is. So this one.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's actually yeah. For some reason, that little page goes disappears, but here we go. Yeah, see, that's it. Now that should work. Yep. Okay, good. All right, so we know that's in how it should be. Now, on the left-hand side again, actually, that's okay. Let's leave Business Manager open here, and let's go to Ads Manager on the right, the tab. Yeah, and then underneath the house, there's the three little lines again. Yeah, and we'll go. Let's go to Ads Manager first, right? So, sorry, no, the one there, that's the one there. Yeah. Okay. Now I'll get you to copy that link up until it says 844 and before the and global.
This here.
Yeah. So yeah,
8 4. Oh god. Okay. This one here.
yeah,
So copy
yeah,
up until there.
yeah. Include the 844.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah,
okay.
include that one.
And
Yeah,
not the and.
yeah. Don't need the rest of
No.
it.
Okay.
That'll get us in. And then back
Where
to
am I going?
Basecamp and
There.
just drop it in there. That's our ads manager. At the moment, it's grayed out the create just because it wants a billing behind it. That's all. Then if we go back to Ads Manager, which is the briefcase on the right, then this time let's go again to that little hamburger. What's this one? Focus on page with where it's asking us that question in the middle. Does it? You can actually go no. It's not of national importance. No. Okay. And then the three lines on the left hand side underneath the house. Let's go scroll. Actually, let's go audiences. Actually, let's do our audiences on the right hand side. So you can clearly do that. And we're going to create a saved audience, which is the one down there, yeah. And we're going to call this 2021 or 21. Yeah, Bramwell Partners and we could call it default or initial. And then where it's got locations, I'll get you to type in the street address. Yeah,
Our street address,
yeah,
the business.
the
Yeah.
business street address. Yeah,
Oh,
you
why
don't
is
need
it?
the number unless it's a very, very long street. Oh, actually,
It
what's
won't
this?
let me
Oh,
type.
actually, sorry,
It's
not
just
there.
doing
It's
a
the
drop
sorry,
down.
it's the next one. So people living. It's actually underneath where it's got search locations. Yeah, so click in that
Oh,
little button
here.
there. Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Sorry. And it'll probably say Allison Road. It'll say Brisbane instead. Generally speaking.
Oh, say instead of Aspley,
Yeah,
say
maybe
Brisbane. Is that
try.
what you
Yeah,
said?
Ellison Road.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Oh, yeah, that's it. Alice, that'll be it. Yep. You can zoom in to double check, but yeah,
Yeah, that'll be it. Yep.
that's you. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's good. Maybe just zoom back out because clearly you take in then a lot of you, you you you're at the northern section, right? So,
Mhm.
but you clearly um, in terms of that radius. Do you want to bring it out further so that you're actually working with businesses within, say, a 15 to 20 mile of your business?
Yeah, well, we've got quite a few even up on the Sunshine Coast and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So,
So
yep.
that would be the other thing is it's often best to put in a street on where the business is. So rather than just putting, oh yeah, so bring this one out to say 15 for a start, or even 20 because you got a lot of ocean.
Yeah.
Um, then um, then with those other addresses, so if you want to go Sunshine Coast, what's the main street, let's say, in Sunshine Coast,
Oh, I
or
wouldn't
just
have a
a
clue.
street? I
Um,
You can just write Sunshine Coast to start with. Sometimes it'll in the search locations, it's got include
do I
underneath.
need to do anything with
No, no, leave
this?
that one there. That's
Leave that.
saying
So just
because
search
we're going to have
again.
multiple locations, right? So
Okay.
Sunshine Coast, right? So yeah, Sunshine Coast. Oh, no, there's highways in yeah, yeah, go there,
Mm,
click on that, but let's see what the city does. Oh, it's also 25. So again, you can see with Sunshine Coast, um, depending on whether you've got any businesses in between you and Sunshine Coast, you could do Brisbane at 25 as well, and then you're going to have those touching one another
mm,
almost
nearly
30 maybe.
30.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Right. And then are you working on Gold Coast as well or no?
Yes, we do. So should I just put in Gold Coast
Put
and then
Gold
do the
Coast,
same
same
thing?
thing. And then Gold Coast, we're probably only going to need 15K potentially.
Mm, where are we?
Although for the sake of it, you might as well keep it at 25.
That slight overlap. Yep.
Yep. So, and that's all good. But what you can see is before we do anything else, you can just see the number of scrolling down a little bit below that, right? So I'm thinking that 18 years old is going to be too young. So in terms of the majority of the people that you're working for, are they business owners of a particular age?
Um, yes,
I'm thinking there's
I
probably
would.
no upper age limit necessarily, but there's possibly a
No.
lower age limit. So
Look, I'd even say mid. Yeah, I'd say mid 20s.
let's go
There'd be.
24 then, yeah?
Yeah.
Because they could be doing something within the offices, so
Yeah.
they could
Yeah.
be, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. So now what we're going to do um, is where it's got detailed targeting. I just want you to write workplace safety or something along those lines.
In here.
Yeah. Yep. So click on that. Yeah. And now what I'll get you to do, actually just out of interest, just that alone, just scroll up the top. I want to see how big this audience is because you actually are covering more than clearly Okay, that's very small, 1,100. So that workplace safety is showing global figure, not your local figure, right? So let's scroll down
Okay.
again. There's not a lot of people that are interested in that, but they're tight, right? So now, just out of interest, let's go business owner. Yeah, and employers.
That
Yep,
one.
yep, yep. And then let's go maybe chief executive officer, CEO, I guess. There you go. You can click on. It's funny that comes up as an interest rather than employee. Okay, so let's
Mm.
click on that just for now, and then I'll get you to go click on suggestions. Okay, now and you can click on you can click on multiple business owners, business owner, owner, and CEO. Click on all of those. Yeah, just keep clicking, yeah, and put them up. So that'll put them up there.
Mm.
Yeah, owner and CEO is fine. You can't go too far wrong because, as I said, they're global numbers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
employer, business owner, small
Small
business
business.
owner. They may well be. Yeah, managing
Mm.
director. It's probably more sizable businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Personal protective equipment is probably maybe aligned. Do you think?
Where's that? Yep,
Yeah,
definitely. Yep.
yeah.
Um, workwear owner.
Yeah,
If
so
we put in human resources, will it bring up anything else
it will
again?
start to bring up those. So what we probably want to do is exhaust all of these
Yep.
ones. As I said, you can have 20, 30, it doesn't really matter. It's just
Okay.
helping. Um,
Yep.
when you have bigger things, they often swallow up the other ones anyway.
Mm.
But yeah, put in um, HR compliance. That's quite specific, but let's see what happens
Should I
around.
spell it out or just put HR?
Yeah,
HR?
HR compliance out of interest, right? So no, so nothing as per se as that. So do human resources. So you're probably just with your human resources. It's so you're a human resource consulting. Let's click on that one underneath human resources. Human resource management is possibly another one. Yeah. So if you've got it's
Oh,
the
why
human
did that?
resource management that you want. So if you click on suggestions again, it'll probably come up now.
Oh, I see. Uh,
Yeah, professional in human resource was up the top as
was
well.
it?
Yep. Yeah, you can click on that one too.
Oh,
Yep. But my personal
human
opinion, you can't
resource.
go too far wrong with most of these ones that are sitting in here if it's a job title or an interest.
Yeah, we don't do recruitment.
No,
Uh,
business owner is an employer again. Safety could be a bit big. 125 million globally. Don't know. Um,
pages
uh,
related to
just out of
safety.
interest, let's scroll up the top again on the right hand side. See how big this audience is now. Oh, sorry, on if you just bring it out. 220. Getting to a nice sort of size. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the size that I kind of hope for, right? Um, I'm thinking that that would mean now, unlike when we first put in workplace self safety, now what we've
Mm-hmm.
got is some bigger ticket. If you're a business owner or a director, now all of a sudden you're sort of absorbing a lot of that. You're probably also included in workplace health and safety. You know what I mean? So they're the same
Yep.
people.
Yep.
Um, uh, you don't have to, but because it's similar to myself, the same often, and maybe it's more of a finance thing, but things like Zero and things like WordPress,
Oh, yep.
often business owners are interested in, and they're the same sort of business owners that possibly should be interested in what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's not what you do, you could put in Zero, for instance, up XERO
Just in
in
the.
here. Yeah. See how it's Zero software? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big when you think about it, given how popular they are. Zero is the equivalent of
Mm.
Facebook in their industry. So,
Yeah, we use it. So
yeah, and
um.
so now you sort of see you start to get some of those. Yeah, so it's just what business owners are typically interested in, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but but I think we've done well. I think that's a pretty
Yeah.
good saved audience to start with, right? So at the bottom you would just go. I see how what zero just did though.
Mm.
It topped it at 110. I reckon take it out.
Take it out. Okay.
Because for now, what we know is that if we wanted to, and what businesses are interested in, we could put in things like WordPress and Zero. But I don't
Mhm.
think it's in our initial default. It's not
Okay.
really, you know. So this is just so you understand the data. This is anybody that's identifies as this type of person within their profiles and on their pages, but
Okay.
it's also people like Steve speaking to Fiona and saying, "Hey, look, do you know anybody that might be able to help us out around, you know, workplace safety?" So we'd
Mhm.
have a private, direct conversation on WhatsApp or whatever. It's collecting that, right? So it kind of
Wow.
knows that we're talking about that stuff because
Yeah.
it owns Messenger and it owns WhatsApp as well as the platforms themselves, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we know the data, right? So let's create that. I think you just hit create if you haven't already, yeah, and then there we go. So that's just go done for now. And then if you click on that hyperlink where it says 2021 Bramwell Partners, yeah, and then it should say on the right edit. All I want you to do is just copy the entirety from audience name down to managing director on the right hand side.
Oh, here
Yeah, and then we know what we've created, right?
down
It sort of
to
says where they are, um, and that's our initial saved audience as far as putting the first ad campaigns, right? Um, so then the other thing that we want to do, I didn't see it offered to us, but I'm hoping we'll be able to do this, is on the left-hand side underneath the house, you've got three lines. Yeah, so
mhm.
clicking there, and I expect normally to see Events Manager, and I don't see it. Oh, there it is,
There.
underneath Collaboration Center. Yep, let's go there. Okay, and so what typically happens here, and I and I always think it's going to stop, but what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to copy that URL up above.
The whole thing.
Uh, Again, yeah, for now, we probably don't
Yeah.
need the last bit, but for now, just drop it all in, copy it, and paste it across. And this is for the pixel. It's basically the web pixel code. So yeah, and that's where we're setting it up. Yep. So that's okay. You don't have to write what that is. I know what that is, so that's fine. And head back
Okay.
to the Events Manager tab, and let's go connect data source. And we're going to go web on the left hand side. Yeah, and connect. And we're going to go Facebook Pixel on the right. Yeah, and connect. And we're going to go scrolling down. I think we don't need to do anything other than go continue here. And then we're going to name our pixel Bramwell Partners. And then we're going to go and copy the website address and paste it in there.
Our website address.
Yeah, the Bramwell Partners website address. So
Yeah.
maybe just open up another tab and
Mhm. Continue.
yeah. Okay, cool. And this always happens for some reason. It says select a partner integration. I want you to close that. Just close that box instead of saying email this to your web person, right?
Mhm.
If you click on continue pixel setup again for me, see if you get the same thing. Yeah, go connect, and you still get the same thing. Yep. Okay. Let's just go close. Okay. So just so you know, I go settings. Let's see if we. I'm not gonna give up yet. So give me. I will because I'm gonna have access to it. I have a feeling. But yeah, scrolling down. So what we can do is let's turn advanced matching. There's a couple of things we can actually do. We'll go turn advanced matching on. Yep. Yep. And then scroll down and we'll go track events. We'll turn that on as well.
Track events.
Yeah.
Oh
Turn
yeah.
that on. Yeah. and scroll down. Yeah, allow less. Yeah. If you click on choose a partner out of interest, I know that's think it's going to be exactly the same again, right? So close that. Yep. Okay. What I'm going to, and so, but what you can do is scrolling up. Yeah, so you see how it's got set up manually? That's
Mm.
uh, up here. It does actually say that. See, it's got pixel ID and then the number. Can I just get you to copy
Mhm.
that pixel ID and number? That's what our code. That's what it is. So just paste that in, and you can put that above what you were going to do. Was what you were going to do before. It's actually shown in the in here, but
Where do you
just write pixel ID. Yeah. All right. And now I'm going to see if I can get it at my end, just out of interest.
okay.
Um, what are we in? Okay. Just if you like, I'm
Mhm.
going to. Um, I'm going to share my screen for a second and see how
Okay.
I go. As I said, normally what happens is I'll go here. Oh, sorry, yeah, share. Actually, what we might both need to do before I go and do this, I'm just going to check to see that I've got that invite to the ad account. But I'm fairly sure I was already on that, so because we did it last time. But
Yeah, because your name was on
and
it,
my
wasn't
name
it?
is
So
there, and it
yeah.
seems like
So
we're all on there already. So by rights, if I go into Facebook now, and where we go, and what am I? Even do it for myself. Ads manager, because I think I probably could do it quicker than going and searching what we did the
yeah.
paste last time. There we go. Um, the funny thing is, it always goes to the first one I ever set up, which isn't even active anymore. So it's kind of a whether it does that today. But let's see. Right now, okay, here we are. Now, by rights, we should be able to find Tamika.
Oh no.
Let me go. Let's go. Actually, well, maybe not because maybe we did call the actual. Oh, whoops, we did call the actual advertising account. Bramwell, no. Okay, let's just go see more. That should do it. There it is, Tamika. Okay. And I think it's almost a timing thing. You know, when you first create the pixel like you just did then together,
Yep.
um, I'm able to do it because I wasn't the one that just immediately created it, but
Yep.
I've done it at times where I do it and I get the same thing. But often, I shouldn't speak too soon, but generally speaking, I'm able to get the send the email, and I'll just send it to your address, but I'll copy and paste it. Um, so see, Events Manager now is setting up the top here for me.
Okay.
Um, we go into here. It should say the same thing as you're getting, which says continue setup. There we go, continue pixel setup. And then we do this and see how I get email instructions. It probably can't see it, right? But it's very small.
Yep.
Whereas you were getting that, oh, what do you want? What platform? And
Yep.
so then all I do, I will actually, in this case, let's send it. You've got access to your email there as well, right?
Yeah, success. Yep.
Okay. Success at bramwellpartners.com.au. Our pixel code ends with 211, and this is the code, right? So I'll actually just copy and paste it into Basecamp as well. Actually, you know what I might do? I might put it in the chat, and then you could just copy and paste it.
Okay.
um, there's all sorts of ways to skin the cat, but that's all I wanted to make sure that we could do. So now,
Mhm.
now that's been emailed, and what basically you do is you would just forward that email to the web person. So for
Okay.
the organisation, right? So I think you said it's somebody in the chapter, perhaps. So
Mhm.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Yep. Um, and as I said, I can have a look and see if you did just get an email. And if you're able to, maybe just even drag it across, and we can just you can copy and paste it. Um,
Nothing's come
Nothing
through
yet.
yet. No. Oh, here
There
we
we
go.
go. That's the one. Yeah.
Um, it's going slow.
There we go. And so that um, so if you scroll down, right, so that base code, it's interesting actually. It doesn't quite look exactly the same as what I was going to copy and paste. Uh, for now, I've got it. I'm going to I'll use it for us. But usually, what
Yeah.
you should be
Okay.
able to just copy and paste. If you scroll up into the second box where it's got the second, and everything that's highlighted, right? So this thing here that goes everything from the Facebook pixel code up the
Mhm.
top. If you run your cursor from the front of that all the way
This.
to all the way to the bottom, that should be exactly the same as what. Oh yeah, and then to that part there, copy that,
Yep.
and then just paste it back into Basecamp for us. That's the code that's going to go on. Yeah, that's the code that's going to go on the website, and then help track any. Yeah, what we call them flares. The flares basically say, people are going through the website, how many flares are happening through the different pages, that sort of thing.
So, sorry, just to reiterate, then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've so I would give this to research. Are you saying for them
Correct.
to?
Yeah, if
Oh, okay.
research, yeah, research would then should be well. Uh, there should be no need for them to have to be back on ad pages or anything on those lines. All they need
Yeah.
to do is add this code behind the
Yeah.
website.
Okay.
Generally, they put it on. I think it goes behind the home page, or it goes behind. You know, it's not hard for for web people,
Yeah.
basically, because it follows the whole website. So in other words, it's able to record not just people going on the landing page or the home page, but if they're going to the contact page, and it's basically just measures how many people are going through all the different pages. Basically, that's
Okay.
it.
All right.
And because again, that sort of machine learning and retargeting, what it
Yep.
starts to understand is, okay, the people that are coming on here are mainly 32-year-old women running this type of business from Sunshine Coast. So we're going to push more of our ad towards those sort of people,
Mhm.
and or the people that have already come to the website.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so for a web person, the simplest thing would be just to say, hi, whoever the contact is there at Regurge, is it?
Research.
Research, not Regurge, Research,
You can't read that right.
Research. Yeah, just to forward and say, hey, we've created this. Would you mind putting it behind our website?
Mhm.
And they'd
Cool.
already
All
be
right.
look. They'd already be sending you probably and looking at stuff
Yeah,
like
we're
your analytics.
yeah,
So
I
this
mean, we
just
get a monthly report
Yeah,
from
so
them,
this is just
so
another thing that basically,
okay.
usually it marries in quite closely, as in the numbers, to what your
Mhm.
Google Analytics is telling you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Um, Done. Now,
Okay.
because we're not going to one thing, because we're not going to run an ad right this minute, that's pretty
Mhm.
much all we're going to do on Facebook Ads Manager for now,
Okay.
right? So I think we've got all we need to got and do.
Yep.
What I think, but as I said, what I'd like to do is if we go to YouTube and we go to your and we go and find Research Digital and find that little video.
Oh, from you
Yeah,
mean
so
from
if you do a
Tempest?
search up the top, yeah, if you do a search up there of them,
For Tempest, that video that you were
I
talking
hope,
about, is it?
yeah, Tempest. Sorry, it's Tempest, not the other one. Yeah, my bad, Tempest.
Is it
Tempest, they were digital as well, weren't they?
Tempest?
Tempest Digital or Tempest Media? Yeah. I don't think it's films and media, is it?
No,
No,
it should
scroll.
just be Tempest Media. Would that video not be sitting anywhere?
If you do Tempest Media and then do a space and do Bramwell Partners, then you'll find it because that's how I that's the only thing I found. So there
This
it
one
is.
here.
So you can, yeah, that's the video. So you may as well give it a like. You may as well
I didn't
also
even know this existed, to
you
be
may as well
honest.
also save it.
Oops.
You can probably click on the right hand side. It's got save.
Oh, yep.
This actually wasn't done that long ago.
No,
Save
well,
to
that was, yeah.
um, create a new playlist.
Mhm,
Let's call it Bramwell Partners,
mhm.
and then see how it's got privacy. Just drop down that, and make it public. Yeah, and go create. Yeah. And there's a little hack that you can get these videos, but the best hack would be just to ask them to send it to you in an MP4 format.
Mhm.
And then
Okay.
I'd subscribe to them as well because clearly you've got something to do with them.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, if they can send that to you, that would be awesome. Clearly, you would have paid them for that.
I mean, look, I'll have a look to see. I don't remember getting a video off them, but
Mm,
yeah, this was when we did our photo shoot.
yeah,
So, um,
it's. I mean, your photo shoot's very cool, and I reckon so is this video. If it's it's a
mhm,
really, and it's of a good length too, in
mhm,
terms of putting stuff in.
yep,
So let's go to your website now, just to know. Check. We've gone through the whole sort of Facebook ads and and from the website, I kind of know how I'm going to position things because it'll be similar language. It might mean I'm tweaking a little bit like you did when we were doing the about. So at
mhm,
times I might tweak words a little bit, and
yep,
I'll always have little call to action to find out more and go and visit there. But
mhm,
just logically thinking, you've got well, for straight away up the top, for instance, and well, you're in blog at the moment, right? Do you know how many
mm.
blogs are in there?
No. One thing I was going to say, this one here, recent amendments to the Fair Work Act.
Yeah.
This is quite an urgent thing that I was actually going to put on Facebook.
Hmm.
Normally, I just do like the first few lines and then say read more. But then I thought, well,
Well, hang on. Well,
that can be
that's good. Let's
added to your list of yeah.
hold that thought, because let's do that as our test post, right, through Publer, right?
Mhm.
So we've got time. Got at least another 15. Let's aim to be done. Well, I don't know how your timing is, but let's aim to be done by quarter past at latest. Does
Yep,
that
that's
sound
fine.
okay?
Yep. Yep.
So let's firstly, what I was going to do, if you scroll up to the top, and so we've mentioned blog. For me, blogs are a really good thing to post um, towards the end of the week. I don't know why,
Mhm.
but I tend to typically think that's a Thursday post. So I think for
Mhm.
me, do a Thursday post blog, right?
Okay.
Um, so given you've got that as a resource, may as well share it as a resource.
Mhm.
Um, the first thing I generally post at the start of the week is the types of services. So if you go up the top and you click on services, So see how many. So you've got how many how many pages come off
One, two,
services?
three, four, five, six.
6, right? So
Six.
there's potentially 6 weeks just by themselves of different posts, right? So on a Monday. So if you click on
Hmm.
workplace health and safety, um, is it fair to say that they're slightly prioritized in terms of what you would, what your first thing?
Um, no, look, to be honest, it's not. I'm not sure why HR is not up the top.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think because you kind of touched on it before, look, some months we may concentrate on, workplace health and safety. Sometimes we may, concentrate on quality.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of the order that goes in, I
Maybe
don't
what
think there's a preference, to
maybe
be
what
honest.
we do is by way of realistically, uh, we can always go because remember under our standard way that we would do this,
Hmm.
because it's just giving them a little promo bite virtually
Yeah.
around what you're doing, right? So we
Hmm.
might go workplace health and safety, HR consulting, or
Hmm.
maybe HR support. Is HR support rather than HR consulting, or HR consulting more so?
HR consulting.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
what.
so maybe we'd go workplace health and safety, HR consulting, quality management system planning, um,
Hmm.
HR support, workplace compliance,
Hmm.
ISO training would probably
Hmm.
the sort of way that we'd go. And I'm going to have to write that down because I'm going to forget otherwise. But
Oh.
so I'm going to go WHS and then HR
Hmm.
and then
And
I think if
quality.
I make that note, I think it's logical enough to work out what the flow is. But that's a
Hmm.
very easy and if we're in this one at the moment, if you scroll down, right? So we're going to do a mock one, right? So, but you're basically the way these are great for me to share, right? Um,
Hmm.
so technically, so you're basically immediately telling me the benefit, right?
Hmm.
So the benefit of working with you guys is if I'm worried, or you're kind of going to the client, I like it, right? So are you worried about fines? So we'd probably have to do something. We probably have to do at least a few things there, right? So scroll up. How do we head this? It's workplace. So we might have to call it what it is. Workplace health and safety consulting,
Hmm.
and then as a header, and then we'd say, are you worried about? And we could use those dot points. Then
Hmm.
the final thing would be a variation of a little bit along the lines of, let us show you how to minimize the impact of workplace safety. Blah blah blah. That would be
Hmm.
the post. A couple of hashtags. Get in. So the get in touch would stay pretty consistent, but we
Hmm.
wouldn't put the entire page on, right?
Yeah.
We'd
Yeah.
just use the you know, it's always the first one or two. Sometimes I'll look at it and go, "What's the best part to start with this one?" I think in your case, there's probably a little bit of a lead into those dot points, right?
Hmm.
You've got a lot. So realistically, even any one of these pages, right? If you keep scrolling down,
Yeah. So I mean, you've
so
got all of
yeah,
these. Yeah.
yeah. So you've got a good. Yeah, so I'm never going to be really running out of. If you click on that workplace hazard method statements, they're just resource. I probably wouldn't
So
post them
it's.
as such,
Hmm.
other than to say, look, we have these resources available.
Hmm.
That's what you do, actually, isn't it? Or are they,
Yeah.
you'll
So these
assist
are
you
these are
creating. Yeah, yeah.
these are things that we can
Yeah,
create
yeah.
for the
So again,
client.
that,
So
that's probably
yeah.
a post, and you'd probably include maybe all of them, given you've got so much opportunity. So so clearly services. That's a good start of the week. If we scroll up to the top, what else have we got? I do like the why us. With why us? If you click on that, um, so that's so scrolling down. Okay, so why us? And then maybe just go. Do you also have an about? Did I see? Yeah,
Yes.
so about and why us, I'd probably couple together. Scrolling down.
So this
Okay,
is
you've got
your.
your people, which is always good.
Yep.
And I do like sharing people because it often does better than others. So so
Mhm.
sharing your people is a good strategy, right, for us. So for me, often what we do for clients, particularly when they're content rich like you guys are, we would go about slash why um,
Mhm.
testimony, right? Testimonial. Now you've got testimonies on the website. You don't, and so yeah. Often we've got them on review sites, but in your case, how many testimonials are there? If you click on
There's
testimonial,
not a lot. It's something
not
that
a
we
lot.
would like to work on.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Your career, okay. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
But they are there, and also they're
Yeah.
businesses that in my when I'm doing this, I'll actually go and find them and make sure you connect it on the different channels as well when if we're
Mhm.
posting about them. But yep, so we've got that. So clearly, if we were though alternating, there's also again at least probably 6 fortnights of testimonial, but then hopefully in between that time it gives us time to making sure that people, maybe by putting your Google map at the
Ref-
bottom of emails and other things,
Mhm.
start to
Mhm.
elicit a few more, and particularly at BNIs and that sort of stuff. Have we I don't like it Google reviews for the sake of reviews, right? So my sense is if we've ever helped you, it would be great if you would, it really helps us to have, Google reviews. So if we've
Yep.
helped, let us know. So
Yeah, we've
yeah,
started to look into that more as well with clients like that RDAQF. We actually sent them our link. We've been great working with you guys. Would love it if you can leave us a Google review kind of thing. So
yeah.
yeah,
There is a
and
if
that's
you go back to LinkedIn, there is a person. I've got at my uh, I've got a little card, which is a little QR code, and which in the past I would have thought, well, that's not much good. QR code, who knows how to use them?
yeah,
Now everybody knows how to use them. Um,
yeah.
so, but if you do a search up there, and her name is Danielle Phillips, I reckon she's got perfect reviews, and she's quite active in BNI up there.
Danny
L, I
ELLE.
think, yeah, LLE,
Danny
and then space Phillips. Yeah, there she
Phillips.
is.
Get
Get
more
more
reviews.
reviews. Yeah. Um, she's very active in BNI, right? So,
Okay.
so you could even just copy and her name or link, and she, I don't remember paying her for that, right? So I
Okay.
guess she just saw me as being an aligned business that was probably going to tell some other businesses.
Mhm.
And even if I had have been asked to pay, I was kind of happy to, because it was like $110 or something like that, right? It wasn't, and it was
Yeah.
just a once
Something's.
off.
Yeah.
It's not a expensive exercise. Um, and what it does do is it enables you to put your Facebook link if they want to review you on Facebook, your Google review link if they want to review you on Google, I
Mhm.
think Twitter and or maybe website and Instagram, but those ones they just say connect with us, right? So it's quite a useful little tool,
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so if you're wanting to elicit, have a chat with Danielle. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
cool.
Cool.
So back to the website. I reckon the only thing that they're when so we've got services. Um, we've got when I know what I'm going to do on Friday, and I reckon Tuesday. Can you just show me what frequently asked questions looks like? Okay. What do they do? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is good because this is talking to who we work with
Mhm.
mainly, and so probably the only thing here um, that we just want to do, if you're not wanting me to look up sort of unsplash type images,
Mhm.
just whether there's some imagery that you'd like, even if it's every second one, some of those ones where it's got photos of you and the team and that sort of stuff that
Yep.
maybe don't already exist on this website.
Okay.
Um, there's nothing to stop you on this website, and even on a page like this, to almost have a gallery,
Yep.
just of let's say a dozen of your favorite photos of the team.
Okay. Yep.
Again, um, you know, uh, but as I said, so that is one way, but it's still an extra action for me if I have to then save as off the website. So it's
Mm.
it's great if you can plonk any photos that you have access to that you're happy to be shared to the publicly.
Mhm.
Then
Yeah. Well, I'll upload
yeah,
to. Dropbox,
That would
the
be
images.
awesome. Yep.
Yeah, just any images that we've kind of got,
Yep.
um, even that weren't part of the photo shoot or something. But yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Mhm.
You know, I think it seems to me you've got a really good amount. And then the other thing is you couple that with the blog images and stuff that you've got. That it's
Mhm.
going to be really useful. And so even if I am stuck, I know the type of image that I can use. You know, so um,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
but I don't, it doesn't look like I'm going to get stuck in the short term anyway. So
Mhm.
yep. So
Okay.
let's have a look at this one, right? So uh, um, let's do a post. Let's do it across. We'll test the test the publer. So what
Mhm.
you might have to do is just if you go to your plus, then on the right, and you type in publer, it should
Can't
be.
remember if I saved. Yep, Pablo.
Now I'm going to bring you into our team one. I'll do that by the end of the week, but it won't make any difference to if you ever want to sign in and have a look. Then you'll
Okay.
still be able to do that, right? So
Yep.
all you'll get is a notification that says the more the merrier. You're now more the merrier. You're now part of the Diffie Social Team platform, which is a higher level platform. That's all. Um,
Okay.
so let's go recent with the blog post, right?
Mhm.
Let's go recent amendment. Just copy that title. The good thing about and we're just going to take this web page to the people effectively. So just go paste here.
Into that bit there.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
And then maybe go a line down.
Mhm.
Well, maybe a couple of lines, in fact. And what you can do is, if you because we're in this part at the moment, you can make that part bold. Recent amendments to the workout, yep, and go bold, yep. And then we go back to the rest of the blog, right? And then we're going to just go. I reckon we take everything. We might even take what do employers need to do. I would almost include that as well. Just go all the way. So from as the
That
first
pretty
line.
much takes.
So, but we don't.
Uh,
But when I'm saying, I just mean
oh,
the
and then
heading.
put.
I
Yep.
reckon
Okay, I get
because
ya.
I think
So
what we'll
just to
say is,
there.
yeah, I think what we'll
Yep.
say is read what employers need to do is what we'd perhaps put underneath. Yeah. So as employers business overview of changes. So overview of changes, yeah, and do them as little dashes. So probably bring your casual employment can come up a line.
I'll just. What was?
Oh, they've got three
So they've
dots.
got
Yeah.
bullet points. Do you? Can you do bullets and points in this, or is it?
Yeah, you can. So you go, although they're not they're not great. So I just do little dashes
Okay.
often. So
Yep.
in this case, yeah. So just do that. Yep. Casual, same again, and same again, and yeah, there. And then I would write in front of that, read what employers need to do.
Oh, yep. Okay.
I don't even think you need to make that part bold. I reckon you just go read
Yeah.
what employers need to do, and then get rid of the question mark, and you do a. So I do a space, and then it's a blog, right? So we use the square bracket. So square bracket is above. Yeah, well, you probably know
Oh, I
the
get you.
square bracket above the
Yep.
return key.
That one.
Yeah, and then you write blog.
Oh, hang on. Square bracket. Yep. Blog.
Yeah,
Just in
yeah, just write
capitals
blog.
or.
I just
Yeah.
yeah, like that's fine, and
Yep.
then close square bracket, and
Oh,
then you can
okay.
do a just your colon,
Mhm.
and then have a space, and then you can copy the link
So this one.
to this. Yeah, so grab that whole lot.
Put it in here.
Yep. Yeah. And then yep, and then scroll down, and so after that link,
Mhm.
so somewhere
Okay.
hopefully we can just click in there and get below it. Yep.
Yep.
Um, read what employees need to do, and so
Down. Oh, down here. Yeah.
I reckon write and after that link, continue it as almost
Oh,
like a
I get you.
sentence. Yeah,
Yep.
and then I would just say, and we probably can copy and paste, I think, from our sort of when we did the write up of the checklist one. So, or go to Facebook. In fact, if you go to Facebook's probably an easy way to find.
Oh,
We've got our
no,
pin
there we
post
go.
on Facebook.
Yep. Hang on, I'll just go
Yep.
back. Um, come on. Computer's starting to go slow.
Yeah, we're doing okay.
Yeah. It's just thinking. Come on. This here?
Yeah, and I reckon you probably in this case it'd be too much to say get in touch for a complimentary consultation. What you would just say call. You just say call oh 07 da, 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 call or email. You've already got the visit because you don't need to make them visit again because they're already going to
Because they've
go.
already got the
Yeah,
link. Yep. I'll just
correct.
copy that and then take out.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, is that not pasting that? Oh, here we go. Call or
Or email. And what you might say is to get in touch. Full stop. And then you can just add the couple of hashtags that we decided are your hashtag. So you can just copy and paste them from Facebook again. Actually, I reckon.
these ones here.
Yeah. See, and a blog like this is good credit to you. I mean, this is real. This is real educative stuff, right? So you're basically telling them exactly what you do. So now on the left-hand side, you're going to click click all the different ones. You got Facebook, you got Google Update, you've got Instagram, you got LinkedIn, and you can go Twitter, but it's too many characters for Twitter. We did set up.
Oh, okay.
We did set up if this then that.
Yeah,
Um,
Twitter text will.
yeah. So see on the bottom left underneath this post that we've done, I'll just get you to click. There's a little next to the location. There's a little sort of that separates them. So not that. Yeah, that one there. Yep. Go there. Yep. So now if you click into Twitter, what we can do is just get rid of the word, the details in that box. So click in there. Yep. I just
In
click where
here.
it says recent, on the in the middle. Just click into the actual text part where the
In
words
here.
are. Yeah, in there. Yeah. Just click in there.
Oh,
Yep.
there.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So now I would basically say I would say I
Just
would
take
get
out
rid of. I
from.
would actually
Oh,
get rid of everything. I would just say recent amendments
oh
to
what's it done?
yeah.
Oh
Whoops.
no. Can I go undo on that?
What
Just go
happened?
out. I
Did it
don't know.
paste?
Oh no, hang on. No. Oh, yeah. What did that do?
I think it pasted by the look. So I just think take your
Definition
cursor.
described.
We'll have a go at working this out,
That's
right?
really
So
weird. Oh, overview of sent.
just take everything out. Just take everything out for me. Just run your
Hang
cursor
on.
from the
I'll
top to the
just.
bottom.
I'll, do you want me to still leave in the
No, I
heading
reckon
though?
take it all out. It's fine. It's
Take
fine.
it all out.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay, so
redo
just
it and we're going to
Control
copy and
A and
paste it from
delete.
somewhere else. Just get rid of everything that's in there at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now click on LinkedIn above. No, sorry,
Linked.
in the
Oh,
Publer. Yeah, just into here.
yeah.
Yeah. And this time, what I'll get you to do is we'll use this one. You can just copy the heading, which is recent. Yeah, copy that. Then go back to LinkedIn and to Twitter and put that in. And then just go enter here. I think you cut that instead of copying it. So just go
Yeah, I
back
don't
to
know.
LinkedIn. Maybe you did that. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I have to.
Go
What have I
back to
done? What am I
go back to
doing?
LinkedIn and then just go enter, and then just go paste again,
Hmm,
and
weird.
then
Okay.
scroll down a little bit, and I would just go read what employers need to do, and I would catch all that stuff and copy that into Twitter,
And the
including
hot,
the hashtag. Yeah,
yeah.
and then
Okay.
yeah,
Um,
then back into
it's
there.
done the same thing again, hasn't it?
No, no, no. Then you go there and
Oh,
just paste. Yep. And now you can see that you can only. I would so. I think the most important thing is basically if you can
oh yeah.
leave everything in LinkedIn, but just go back to Twitter. It actually won't post it because it possibly won't post it because there's too much. So I would
Oh,
take out the
there's.
or. I would take out the or email to get in touch, and you just go read what they need to do and call to get in touch, and then you fit. Okay, and then you
Oh
go
yeah.
schedule,
Okay.
or we can double check it before we do this if you like.
Oh,
Oh, that's all right. No, 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 don't
yeah.
worry. No, you
Yeah.
can go
Sure.
cancel. You go cancel. You just so
Okay.
you know. I'm a bit more quicker at this, by the way. Just so you
Yeah.
know. No, but that's okay. But then the good thing is, when someone makes a sandcastle, there'll be a
Yeah.
time where you go, Steve, I think I noticed a spelling mistake, and I'll
Yeah.
quickly look and I'll go, hmm, did I
Mhm.
make that spelling mistake, or is that spelling mistake already on the website? You know what I
Uh
mean? So
huh.
yeah, so there will
Yeah.
be, so that's to say we work as a team. If you do notice anything on any of the posts at any stage, just let me know.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll do the same. If I notice anything on the website that maybe isn't how, I'll let you know as well.
Okay.
But
Cool.
if you click back into Facebook, let's just double check it, do a once over, which is normally what I would do before I go and hit the schedule. As September is approaching. So again, the idea of this is actually more of a long form post. Most of them probably won't be this long,
Okay.
but there needs to be enough in there to make it interesting so that they perhaps click on the link and open it up.
Mhm.
Um, because of the way we've done it, those ones like Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter are just going to use the link as an image.
Mhm.
Whereas if you click on Instagram, Instagram is a photo. They've actually picked the image, right? So it doesn't have a hyperlinked image. It just creates that image, right? So
Okay.
and so the good thing about Publer is it does that for us. It identifies it.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, so in this case, you're actually posting a non-photo. In the main, I probably won't do that. I'll probably do a photo to all of them.
Yep.
So I just save the photo and I'll share that photo across all of them. But for this case, I think it's a good way to test it, just so you know that's how we do it. So
Mhm.
and it's a good post, I think. It's a really good post.
Mhm.
I'd be
Mhm.
happy with that. And again, I'm my harshest critic often, and there is times where I look at posts and I go, oh, and certainly have had yeah, it's probably not our best one, but you know what I mean. There's
Yeah.
sometimes
Yep.
they're
No, I
educated.
feel the same. Yeah, I have the same thing
You understand
sometimes.
what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
I
So,
get what you're
but
saying. Yeah.
but also the important thing about that is, particularly with because you being the sort of champion for this organisation is people are often can be very gun shy about what they share. Reality is you've got particularly your website. There's so much to share, right? So
Mhm.
it's about sharing, not getting
Yep.
constipated thinking you've not got things to share. You've got plenty to share, plenty to educate about. Whether it's
Mhm.
the blogs, the services, the why us, the testimony. There's heaps to share.
Yep.
It's just sometimes they're going to be slightly more informative, sometimes they're going to be slightly longer, sometimes they're going to be maybe better. But at the end of
Mhm.
the day, Facebook and a lot of the other ones don't really care. There may
Yep.
be a slight organic, a post like this may do slightly better than a post that's say a why us, I don't know,
Yep.
and we'll see that. But all in all, the organic reach on Facebook, when it means the difference of 70 people seeing it rather than 40, by comparison to when you're putting $1 on and we're advertising where you're talking thousands and tens of thousands, it
Mhm.
doesn't make much difference.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more the things you can be doing to actually increase it organically.
Yep.
There's a few little tips and tricks about engaging yourselves, um, and I'll encourage you to do that. And I'll do that. But it's more about just making sure that your ad's getting to the people that you want to get to.
Okay.
Because as long as we've got a daily posting strategy, sooner or later we're going to get to the people that already know of you. It
Mhm.
just depends on the algorithms.
Okay.
So, so yeah. So
Cool. All
you
right.
can hit schedule on that one, and we'll be able to
Okay.
see that later on. And then it'll just say, let's schedule it for 13:15, and you go schedule, and Then let's go back to Basecamp. Oh, actually, let's just wait to make sure it doesn't tell us that
Any
there's any
errors?
issues. There we go, successfully scheduled, right? The good thing is we do get notification if for any reason it fails, and that's been happening, right? So
Okay.
one of the reasons we're bringing everybody into our own centralized sort of one as teams is because um, often I'll only notice that it failed the next Monday when I go in
Oh,
to schedule it
okay.
again.
Yep.
But you, as the person that signs in, you will get a notification. You'll
Mhm.
also get other ones. I mean, even after doing this, you'll probably get a notification that says uh, your schedule is empty at the moment, right? So
Okay.
they're not something to be concerned about. Well, only empty because we've done our post for the week, right? But
Mhm.
if you do get one for any reason that says, "Oh, it's failed," just maybe let me know or whatever,
Okay.
and I'll go and have a look. But as I said, I'm going to bring
Cool.
you in pretty quickly, so you're different to a few of our other clients who we haven't brought across yet.
Okay.
Um, so you could probably hit add comment on this one. I don't think there was anything else on that. Um, Maybe what we'll do is just go up to the top. There's one little technical thing we can do because I doubt it's been done already. Is if you so we'll scroll down. We know we've done all our setup. It's looking fabulous. I'm really pleased with the way you're looking. It's awesome.
Mhm.
And we've got your ads manager all sorted. We know what we're going to be posting. So I'm going to do another write up, which will be all that. Just
Mhm.
slightly above here, you'll see there's a couple of things, right? There's a couple of little things that. So we've talked about images. If you can get those images for me, that would be awesome.
Yep.
We're going to try and get that video because that's likely what we'll promote. Then there's that help that slightly above again. Just scroll up. There's something that talks about I think auto images. That's what I often don't do. I don't show people how I do this, so I'm going to show you how I can do this. Right? If you go into
Mhm.
Facebook, we can do it together while we're waiting for that post to publish. Um, if you go to scroll on the left-hand side, and we'll just go to settings, and it's got messaging underneath general on the left-hand side.
Mhm.
Yeah, and somewhere it should say auto messages once it loads. Show a greeting during. Hmm. Just scroll up a little bit. That's your Oh, there you go. Go to automated responses. Just under general settings there. It's a blue hyperlink.
This.
Slightly down under general
Oh,
settings.
there.
That's the one. Yeah. So this one here is just in. You may get this. Often they're a bit. They can be spammy, um, but
Mhm.
but what we want to get them off is this and get them to email you or phone you, right? So if we just turn instant reply on, and that's still loading by the looks.
Mm. Oh. It says it's loaded.
Hmm. Try
Mm.
maybe just try refreshing it actually. Hmm. That is very strange. I might have to do it by myself. Click the instant reply on again, but it's still not got you. It should be the same as what we had with the other part that actually had
Hmm.
too weird. Anyway, I'm going
Yeah.
to turn on an instant reply. So in
Mhm.
other words, it would say, and we put in a salutation. So it just says, "Hi Fiona, thanks for your message. Um, for a more prompt response, please contact us via phone number, email, or
Okay.
the web address." Basically,
Mhm.
it's a
Yep.
standard, and then we just say we do a little hat, maybe Bramwell Partners, basically something
Okay.
along those lines. Yep.
Mhm.
So at least you know where we do that. I have no idea
Mhm.
why that's not loading up for you, but we'll get that sorted. So.
Yeah. Don't know.
Um,
Okay.
and then the only other thing on Basecamp was that, as I said, the best thing that from an organic perspective, so we've got that sort of helpful tip for the staff and, for yourself, particularly in LinkedIn, as Tamika and as you, if you're liking, commenting on any of the company posts, um,
Mhm.
in between, and this would be the same on the Facebook. So just give it a like, or rather than give it a like, give it something like a clap or a, oh, that's insightful. So
Mhm.
another emoticon, just because Facebook
Yep.
then thinks that's more, it'll spread it, the tentacles greater.
Mhm.
And also continue to do hopefully what Tamika is already doing, maybe. But in between, you're going to do that for your company because that's a softly approach of spreading, pushing the barrow. But you also want to still be liking what what the person in the BNI meeting is sharing, or your BNI Connect, or your client is sharing in the news feed, or even Brisbane Council, whatever it might well be.
Mhm.
But it's then becomes clear that the only activity you're doing isn't just activity related to Bramwell Partners. That's all.
Okay.
Because it is actually the little secret, I guess, about being social.
Yep.
So it gives
Yeah.
benefit for your business, but in actual fact, you're being social on your business behalf as well. You're showing interest in others, and we
Mhm.
know that if you do that, then they'll show interest in you. Yep,
Mhm.
awesome. Must be getting close to that having pushed out, but I
Yep.
reckon we'll be able to look and see that that's been the case. Um, so I guess the thing for you to do, and this probably does you with the what we would suggest with the Facebook ads, when you've got access to billing, it's generally preferable to use the same card that you use for us.
Okay.
That way, if you've got an expiry date due or whatever, then we kind of know that's the case too. Because then
Mhm.
what Facebook will do, and you should be able, I mean, you've got the billing link now, right? So you'll be able to do that. Um, but it's the similar scenario for us then, basically. And I guess the thing to know about that is that I've said to you before, in terms of we don't lock people in over time.
Mhm.
Um, my business coach goes, "Why not?" I'm like, because too many others do. But the reality is, if people do wish to stop for whatever reason, and I can tell you that in COVID at the moment, there's plenty of reasons.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
um, basically, just sort of 7 to 14 days notice is good, and we just turn it. We turn off the authority, we turn off whatever we need to turn off, and I think it's fair to say we've got a pretty reasonable script, and
Yep.
our motto is that whoever we're working with are always better for working with us. So it's good story in, good story out. But yeah,
Yep.
that's the
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
No.
just when you're doing that, so once you've got that card, if you could look after the Easy Debit Authority at the same time, that would be
Okay.
awesome.
Will do. No, I'll get all of that through. I think Wayne's got it all anyway. I sent it through to him at the beginning of the week. So, um, oh,
Yeah.
there we go. It's there. Um,
Oh
should
yeah, you got
I
it.
unpin this, or should I still keep
I
that
think
pinned?
yeah, if it's your
Yeah.
if for you at the moment is your most important thing, and yeah, pin it.
Yep. Um, hmm,
Yeah.
okay.
And give it a like, and that sort of thing too, or give it a love, I don't know, or a wow, or a that's the other thing you can do. So
Wine
yeah, so
clap.
just when you refresh the page, the other one will go, basically.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Excellent. That's been
Um,
really good.
yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, I think Tamika's very excited to see all of it happening. So be good.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty excited as well because
Yep.
A, you're a very good business, but B, you're clearly a very connected business, which is
Mhm.
kind of got to be a good thing for me. So I think, other than you guys wanting it to be as successful, the second one that's wanting it to be as successful is me.
Yeah.
um, and
Yep.
so yeah, so we have been working actually with someone, I don't know if she's connected with, but the grooming salon and doggy daycare. We've actually is a Brisbane client that we work with, um,
Oh, okay.
and so but she actually had to shut down, and she's got a staffing issue at the moment, so she's put us on hold for the month.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Oh.
but it is she's a lovely lady. So yeah,
Yep.
Liz is her name, and so
Yep.
yeah,
What company was that?
her name is the Grooming Salon and Doggy
Oh, okay.
Daycare.
Yep. Yep.
She's not in BNI, but
Yeah.
she was referred by a BNI member.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you
Awesome.
go. Very good.
Well, looks good.
Thanks, Fiona.